Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel, and I ain't gonna lie to you, this one I got a little bit caught up in my feelings. This week's episode kinda got me feeling some kind of way, but before we get into the actual discussion, I do, as always, want to give a big thank you to those of you who shared last week's video over on Twitter. At Mr. A4769, at Dude Melio, at DarkfirePlayer4, at Blue Rose Enigma, and at Similarity. Thanks so much for sharing last week's video over on Twitter, everybody, and if you too would like to have your name shouted out in next week's Hamefura video, then be sure to share this video around on the internet, and then tag me at JoJo Talks Too Much over on Twitter, and I will be sure to shout out the first 5 of you in next week's video. So with all that said, we're gonna go ahead and jump into this week's video. Like, comment, subscribe, feelings! Okay, so this week's episode of Hamefura hit kinda different, didn't it? Honestly, it's really, when you think about it, it's kind of a Sophia episode, even though it's also like got the ensemble thing that the show's had for quite some time now. But really, when you think about it, this week's episode is very much all focused on Sophia. And of course, Bakarina herself as well. But again, like, it's mostly told from her point of view, and even when it's not her point of view, it's Achan's point of view, who, let's be real, it's the same person. It's Achan. Like, the show's not even trying to hide it at this point. Like, it is so clearly, like, look how much these two have in common. Wouldn't it be crazy if Sophia was Achan? Oh my god. Like, of course she is. Of course she is. But regardless, I still think it was shockingly well handled when they did the past life section of the episode, the way we open this week's episode, since you can immediately tell who is who just based off context clues. Like, when we see Achan leaving, like, we saw her last week, so we're like vaguely familiar with who this person is, and we see her leaving, and then something drops out of a tree, and you're like, that can only be one person. And the first thing that person says is, please don't be dead, I can't stand the thought of killing somebody with my butt. And that can only, that's the kind of line that can only come from somebody as classy as Katarina Kleiss. Or, well, the person who would become the Katarina Kleiss that we know, but yeah, Katarina, basically. And I do think it's interesting that they don't say her name. Like, she's like, it's really nice to meet you, Achan. My name's blah, 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 blah. Like it just cuts off just before. I would have liked to have known her name prior, because calling her Bakarina when she's not Bakarina yet is a little bit interesting. Like, it's interesting, but I feel like it's like, okay, well, we could have done that a little bit differently. That way I can, like, when I'm referring to Sophia, you know that I'm referring to Sophia, but when I'm referring to stuff from the past, you know that I'm referring to stuff from the past when I call her Achan. You know what I mean? Like, we could have given Katarina her past life, her name from her past life, but it's not super important. But it is interesting to see the relationship build between these two over time. And I don't know, there's just something very sweet about it. The fact that Katarina introduces Achan to, like, reading all, like, these, like, shoujo manga, I guess, like, basically just getting into books heavy and eventually getting into otome games and stuff like that. When she actually visits Achan's room, you can see a Fortune Lovers poster on the wall, which I freaked out about. I thought that was so clever. It's just really cute little context clues for, like, who's who, what's happening, and the basics of this friendship that built over time, since we don't get a whole time to really analyze it. But seeing the relationship grow through the limited amount of time that we did have, it made it all the more impactful when it was cut short. We find out that Katarina's past life ended with an unfortunate traffic accident, which of course means that our boy Truck-kun is at it again. Oh my goodness. That boy Truck-kun, he can't help himself. He can't stop. He's got to just be sending people to Isekai Land left, right, and center. He can't stop himself. And he didn't even stop at just Katarina, it would seem, because this is definitely Achan. Like, this has to be her, which tells me that, like, something happened to her. But at the same time, like, when she says, like, if I could be reborn, I would want to be reborn in a place where I can be her friend again. So I don't know if maybe, like, she lives out a full life and then is reborn into Fortune Lovers with Katarina, but, like, maybe like she lived a full life and then got sent back in time to meet up with Katarina. I don't know. It's a isekai. You can make up whatever nonsense you want. Like, it would still work for me if she did live a full life and then just died of old age or something like that. Or if maybe she too got attacked by Truck-kun, as I'm kind of inclined to believe. But regardless, it was, I don't know, it just hit hard this week. The show does not shy away from the drama of this. Like, in something like Konosuba, obviously, Kazuma's death is played up for laughs. And in most isekai, it's normally played up like a joke when the character dies. Like, even in Slime, while they did take it semi-seriously, it's immediately followed by the protagonist going like, now listen, I need you to destroy my hard drive, bleh. Like, it's stuff like that, right? But with Hamefura, it's not like that. Like, when they talk about the fact that it was a traffic accident and her family and friends never got to see her move on past high school, never got to see her like get a career, never got to see her grow up in the way that they wanted. And it's the suddenness of it that I think makes it hit so hard, because you see her like running home saying like, I'll let you know what happens in Fortune Lovers, I'll talk to you later. And then that was just the last time they spoke. And when Achan is walking home from I assume like the viewing or the funeral itself, she checks her phone and the last message was, I can't get past this sadistic prince. And she's like, really? That's the last message you sent me? And you think it's gonna be funny, but then she just starts crying and breaks down, and it's like heavy crying. Like, this actually really made me feel some kind of way. And I think it's just the suddenness of it. I can't believe I'm going to make a comparison to JoJo's right now. But and I won't say who, but in JoJo's, death is treated much the same way. It's a very sudden thing. Like, there's not always time to have like the big hero moment. Death just kind of comes, and it comes fast. And that's basically what happens here. It just sweeps in, takes Katarina away. Like, when she was trying to just beat Fortune Lovers, she just wanted to conquer this route. But yeah, no, it doesn't work like that. And she gets whisked away, and it's shockingly brutal. But I rambled on about the past life thing too much. Needless to say, Sophia and Katarina to me are like the stars of this episode. And yeah, I don't know necessarily if it's my top ship, but it's one of them. Like, this dynamic is great. I don't know if it's a bro TP or if I ship it, but I know that this bond that has transcended universes, like this bond between Katarina and Sophia, is unparalleled. Like, this is such a like whether or not it's a friendship or a relationship, I don't know. Like whether or not I view it as such, because in the show it's very clearly a friendship, but whether or not I view it as a ship or not, I'm gonna leave up in the air for now. But what I will say is that it really hits. The emotion really, really hits, especially by the end of the episode, once we actually get into the ancient ruins half of the episode, and we see that line where Sophia jumps out for Katarina and just screams like, I don't want to lose you again. That killed me, because that, like, she did lose Katarina in the ruins, so I knew that when she said it, she meant like, I was so scared when you disappeared in these ruins, like, I don't want that to happen again. But because she's so clearly the reincarnated version of Achan, it hit just as hard. Damn it. Like when she says, I don't want to lose you again, my heart sank, because it's like, oh my god, like, for a second you think that she remembered, but then you realize, like, no, she just meant, like, I don't want to lose you in these damn caves again. But my god, like, the character drama this week is so phenomenal. It's just, I don't know, that whole half of the episode like blew my mind. And I know I rambled on and on about Sophia and Katarina. I haven't even gotten to the friggin' ancient ruins yet, which I thought was going to be the thing that I had the most to say about, because this was fun. This is where the episode became fun. Like, you know what I mean? When you get to see them like hunting for a magical stone, a sorcerer's stone, if you will, a philosopher's stone. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful little off the cuff adventure that we get to go on with these characters. I love these uniforms. It makes everybody look so professional, and it makes the school look professional when you see the fact that the guys and the gals basically wear the same damn uniform. The only difference is that the girls have these long ass skirts, which I don't know. Like, something about these uniforms. They're black and gold, so they really live up to the rule of cool. And you guys know me, I like uniforms, I like seeing characters don different outfits. Hamefura has been stellar in that department. The character designs and the clothes that these characters wear have been absolutely phenomenal. And the fact that, again, and I must stress this, that the guys and the gals wear matching uniforms is great. Because I swear to God, with anime, it's always like the guys are clothed head to toe and the girls get these midriff-bearing shirts and these mini skirts. And I ain't knocking that. Don't get me wrong. Ya boy likes fan service on both sides. But I appreciate it way more when the uniforms are matching because, I don't know, I just think it makes the school that they're attending seem more prestigious and professional. And yeah, seeing these characters go on this little quest, seeing that everybody gets to have their moment to shine. You get Gerald, who shines very bright. This man is on fire this week. And you get Alan saving Mary, you get Keith protecting everybody and building bridges, and you of course get Sophia saving Katerina and also being able to read the poem on the wall so that they know which way to go and all this stuff. You even get to see Nicole using his wind magic in a cool way. And the most interesting thing to me was that not only do they find the stone offhand, because of course, but you see a mysterious figure save the duo and using wind magic. So I thought it was either Sophia or Nicole, but then we pan down and there's an individual that's just he kind of looks like the Detective Conan all shadow person. It's just a shadowy figure who we don't see, who was keeping an eye on them and saved them. I suppose this could be serious, but I don't super know. We'll have to wait and see. Either way, this episode was phenomenal. I know I made it seem like it was a big weeping fest, it was just nothing but a cry fest. But it actually was a really fun episode. It's just the most interesting thing about the episode to me was the dynamic between Sophia and Katerina, and I have to assume that most people felt the same way. That said, uniforms are dope. The adventure in the cave was super fun. I hope we get to see more of those. I would love to see actual magic battles. That would be fun. And seeing Katerina bumble her way. Imagine Katerina trying to escape a dragon or something. The show just writes itself sometimes. Just give me what I want. I want to see it. With that said, everybody, I'm going to wrap up my thoughts here. Question of the day today. What's been your favorite episode of the show so far? Because honestly, this one might be mine. But let me know yours in the comments below. And with that said, we've reached the end of the video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then don't forget to boop the up snoot and share if you care. And if you want to see me rambling even more, then feel free to follow me on Twitter or join our good folks Discord, both of which are linked in the doobly-doo. Lastly, if you're feeling generous, consider checking out our Patreon page to help support this channel. Speaking of which, I'd like to give a big thank you to our lovely patrons, such as Zevi, Alex, Andrew W, Branson C, Calvin A, Crowbar of Irony, Daniel G, Deep Not That Deep, Digger the Fox, Dominic G, Emily, Ionos, Urza, Ginkotaku, Godzilla Fan, No For Nothing, Maria T, Marshall B, Mater, Mirth Mouser, Nymad, Cell, Shadow Creative, Stephen G, The Suavest Orange, Tristan G, and Verdon. Thank you all so much for your continued support over on Patreon, and once again, thank you for checking out today's video. Hope you guys have a lovely day, and until next time, you stay classy, AnyTube, and wash your dang hands.